Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of the daily book feature from the OYMYO bookstore in the heart of Burnley Market Hall. I'm Paul Griffiths, and today we've got a real gem for all you book lovers. It's a thought-provoking genre blending fiction. Our featured book of today is A Plague of Angels by the brilliant Sheri S. Tepper. Now, if you're not familiar with Sheri S. Tepper, you're in for a treat. Tepper was an incredibly prolific, influential author in the realms of science fiction and fantasy. Her work often explores deep philosophical questions, environmental issues, and social commentary, all wrapped up in richly imaginative worlds. She had a knack for creating stories that not only entertain, but also challenge the way we think about the world, and A Plague of Angels is a perfect example of that. This book is truly difficult to categorise because it transcends traditional genre boundaries. It starts off feeling like a fantasy novel, but as you dig deeper, you realise it's much more. Tepper masterfully blends elements of fantasy, science fiction, dystopia, and post-apocalyptic themes into a narrative that's both strange and deeply resonant. You might find yourself asking, is this set on Earth? Is this another planet? The truth is that's part of the mystery and the magic of the story, and I won't spoil it for you. You'll have to read it to find out. The world Tepper creates is incredibly rich and complex. It's a world that has been devastated by war, by human folly, by the very things that we as a society struggle with today. In this world, some people have left for another planet. In this world, abandoned people remained behind to struggle and rebuild. The remnants of civilization have fractured into various societies, each with its own unique customs and beliefs. There are villages in the countryside where farmers and common folk try to survive. The cities are dangerous, places ruled by gangs, and they have access to weapons. But there's much more, a lot more. One of the most fascinating aspects of the world Tepper creates is the concept of archetypal villages. These are places where oracles, prophets, heroes, princesses and witches live, almost as if they're living out the roles that mythology and stories have assigned to them. These archetypal figures exist to prevent those who might cause trouble from disrupting the delicate balance of society. It's an intriguing concept that adds a layer of mythical depth to the story, blending the fantastical with the philosophical. And then there's the places of power, where the families rule. These families use advanced technology, including androids, to maintain their control. It's a place where the old and new collide, where the power struggles of the past have evolved but not disappeared. The contrast between the pastoral simplicity of the villages and the cold, calculated power of the families creates a tension that runs throughout the book. But Tepper doesn't stop there. She populates her world with ogres and dragons, creatures from myth and legend, that adds to the book's fantasy feel. And yet these elements are seamlessly integrated with the sci-fi aspects of the story, making it a unique blend that keeps you guessing. Nothing is quite what it seems, and that's one of the joys of reading this book. You're constantly being surprised. Let's talk about the characters. The story centres on three main figures: the nameless hero, a wandering warrior with a mysterious past, Orphan, a young girl who appears ordinary but holds secrets that could change everything, and Abasio, a boy who leaves his rural life to become part of the dangerous city underworld. Each of these characters is on their own journey, but their paths inevitably cross in ways that are both unexpected and deeply meaningful. Abbasio is a particularly interesting character. He's someone who knows the dangers of the city. His own mother had been a gangster's concubine before fleeing, but he's drawn there nonetheless. His journey represents the allure and the danger of power, the pull of the unknown, and the desire to escape the mundane for something more. Orphan, on the other hand, is a mystery from the start. She's taken to an archetypal village, but someone is after her. And as the story unfolds, we learn why she's so important. What makes Tepper's storytelling so compelling is her ability to create a world that feels both fantastical and eerily real. The world in A Plague of Angels may be strange, but it's grounded in issues that are very familiar to us: environmental degradation, the consequences of war, and the dangers of unchecked power. For example, in Tepper's world, books older than 50 years are burned. The idea is that if people can't read about the past, they can't remember it. And if they can't remember it, they can't repeat the mistakes that led to the world's destruction. It's a chilling thought, one that resonates with our own concerns about censorship, historical amnesia, and the loss of knowledge. Tepper also touches on the importance of preserving nature. There are groups in the story dedicated to saving what's left of the natural world, echoing our own environmental movements. This theme is particularly relevant to us here in Burnley and Lancashire, where we're surrounded by the beauty of nature, from the lush landscapes of the Pennines to the historic woodlands. Tepper's message is clear: the world we live in is fragile, and it's up to us to protect it. One of the standout quotes from the book is, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." This line speaks volumes about the responsibility we have to future generations, a theme that runs throughout Tepper's work. Another powerful quote is, "The most dangerous thing in the world is the sin of self-deception." This idea that deceiving ourselves is more harmful than anything else resonates deeply, especially in a world where truth can sometimes be elusive. Tepper's work often defies easy categorization, and A Plague of Angels is no exception. It's a book that can be described as post-apocalyptic, dystopian, fantasy or sci-fi, take your pick. And that's part of its strength. It's a book that has something for everyone, whether you're drawn to the fantastical elements, the dystopian themes, or the intricate world building. But Tepper's brilliance doesn't stop with A Plague of Angels. Her bibliography is vast and varied, with each book offering something unique. For example, her novel Grass is another masterwork of science fiction, exploring themes of ecological destruction and social hierarchy on a distant planet where the elite live in luxury, whilst the lower classes toil in servitude. The Gate to Women's County is another standout, set in a post-apocalyptic society where gender roles are rigidly defined and the struggle for power is ever present. In both of these novels, as in A Plague of Angels, Tepper uses speculative fiction to explore the human condition, always challenging her readers to think more deeply about the world around them. If you're looking for a book that's not just an escape but also a conversation starter, something that will leave you thinking long after you've turned the last page, then A Plague of Angels is the perfect choice. Come down to the OYMYO bookstore here at Burnley Market Hall to grab your copy. Whether you're a long-time Sheri Tepper fan or new to her work, I'm confident this novel will leave a lasting impression.